Welcome, Gemini. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot getting ready to do a full moon in Sagittarius message for you. This full moon is a blue moon, the second full moon in the month of May, the definition of a full moon. And this happens regularly, but there is a long interval in between blue moons. So I believe the last one was at least a couple, maybe 2.5 years ago, and that's pretty standard. This is also a micro moon because of the distance from the Earth to the moon's position in the constellation of Sagittarius. So it appears slightly smaller in the sky than it ordinarily would. So, with all of those disclaimers, we're going to get started looking at the area of your life that is being most significantly impacted, and that is in the area of your significant partnerships, significant others, and be mindful that significant others can be an individual, a group of individuals, or a passion, an opportunity, a project, something that you're deeply connected to and are in the business of pulling together in terms of co-creation or cooperating in a creative enterprise. This can also be an audience if you're an artist, your student body if you're a teacher, etc. So I pulled for you from the energy archaeology, the key card surrender, and I'll read from the guidebook that defines this particular energy. Surrender is a choice you can freely make when you trust that you are supported and are willing to receive support and protection. Fear holds you back from surrender. Fear of the things you don't know or haven't figured out for yourself. Fear that something hidden in the shadows may come up fully when you're open and vulnerable. Fear of the unknown. And fear that something beyond your current grounding and comprehension wants to move through you and flow with you. What are you if you feel these fears and surrender anyway? You're safe, protected, secure, and held in this vulnerable opening. You're supported to understand seemingly incomprehensible things on an energetic level. Grow your capacity for change. Give this transformation room to move. Give it space to be seen, heard, and even delighted in. Breathe deep, trust, and choose to surrender. I really like that this is coupled with the Soul's Journey card, discipline. I can accomplish what I set my mind to do. And I would underscore or de-emphasize the word mind and in its place put something like my energy. I can accomplish what I set my energy to because I believe the wisdom, the guidance you're being given is beyond intellectual comprehension. You are brave enough to be open up to receive guidance that is not necessarily in the form of a rationale or a justification, a reason why. And this is a testament to your own strength, your own trust in yourself, your faith in your ability to do what you want to do, and overall to do it in a way that's different than the way that you've been doing it. And this is where the discipline comes in, the practice. That means you're attempting to approach things differently. That requires you to form new habits, routines. And that appears as though what you are precisely doing and opening yourself up to, Gemini. So this is a big congratulations to you for the vulnerability to this new approach. In the present, we have the Fool card. This is quite a confirmation and really does underscore the idea that you have moved to a place of profound trust in yourself, trust in your expertise, your knowledge at every level, not just in your academic or intellectual knowing, but this is really about the embodiment of those lessons, that learning, that knowledge, so that you feel it on an energetic level. That's multiple levels at the same time, but you carry this within you, this trust in yourself, this faith that you will be able to succeed in some particular area of your life. But overall, this is really a kind of a brave courage that we often call naivete. When we see someone who appears to be acting foolish or is a fool, we sometimes, like children, we assume that there is a gullibility or they don't really know what they're doing. This is really precisely the opposite of that. Your desire to do something different based on your own conviction about what's possible is the opposite of naivete. This is faith and trust in something that you know to be real. In the past, the Strength card is about your ability to kind of hold the line for a while. This is showing me that you've been through a lot. You've been through a lot of ups and downs, and this can be precisely in terms of your goals and your relationships that you support, and those goals that are important to you, your ambition, your ability to keep fighting, to keep moving, to keep trying is paramount, that you have never given up. And in the future, we have the Wheel of Fortune and the Seven of Pentacles. Interesting, because the Seven of Pentacles is indicating this ability to consider what you've achieved, consider what you've produced. And in that consideration, there is some kind of critique implied or an assessment, an evaluation of what is working, what is not working, what practices to continue, what rewards are worthy of the effort. All of that is part of your figuring out what your status is now. And it seems to me that you have opened yourself up to another dimension of guidance, possibility. And that is that beyond what you are capable of intellectualizing or knowing, that there are more opportunities available to you and that you've gained access to that through your faith, through your strength, through your perseverance, and your ability to assist others along the way to equally access these resources that you see as possible, and also as a way of understanding that the ultimate end of your work is service. You are serving clients, customers, students, a public in one way or another. And that's the part of your effort that is being held up as an example of your good karma. So the opportunities you now perceive are coming as the result of your willingness to believe in your ability to achieve a goal and the way in which you help others, either directly through the services you provide or help others who are engaged with you in this practice or profession. This is feeling a lot about work, which is beautiful. That's fine. And it feels as though the relationships attached to the work you do are what you are scrutinizing, looking at in closer detail, evaluating differently. If this reading is resonating for you, Gemini, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate all the support that you give me, and I believe you understand how important and valuable it is to me. So I love your comments. Two cards are clarifying the Strength card in the past, the Hierophant and the King of Swords. The Fool in the present is clarified by 2 cards, the Page of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles, and the 2 cards in the future, the Wheel of Fortune. Oh, sorry about that, but that's upright, as is that. The Emperor and the 6 of Wands. We're going to take those. And as I collect my mess, so in the past, that Strength card has been deeply informed by some guidance that you received along the way. And there's an indication that you were mentored in your profession, in a current effort that you're pursuing, perhaps an ambition that you've held or that was instilled in you by someone of authority. The person that's coming to mind was quite likely a relative, an ancestor, but it was someone who had a lot of experience with strategy and knowing how and when to leverage the support that you have gained. That wisdom from that person was someone who was very accomplished at the time, but very skewed to a single perspective, the perspective that fit the narrative of their life, their experience, and their need. And so a lot of the guidance you got was around the things that they would want to achieve or accomplish for you, not necessarily relevant or applicable to you. So you are recognizing that this mentorship is essentially your invitation into an entire field of experience, a professional field, where you feel as though you got the best entree, introduction, training possible. And that feels very much attached to an ancestor who's had a tremendous impact on your entire life, whether they are with you or not. In the present, the Fool card, this exuberant openness to possibilities that are now emerging, that you are open enough to receive. The Page of Cups really underscores your openness, your willingness to entertain any ideas that feel right, that seem to support where you're moving. There's also a kind of reintroduction to the playfulness that is already a personality trait of yours as a Gemini, the light, humorous touch. And I feel that playfulness in your creativity. There's also a moment in which you are trying to seize this vision. You're trying to fill out a vision that you have before you proceed. It isn't as though you need to know the plan to reach the vision. On the contrary, you're really just trying to formulate that vision in your heart so that it can inform the way that you build your process to achieve that. So it feels like this is a moment of some kind of revelation for you, some kind of clarity around what your heart is opening up for you, possibilities that might have seemed foolish or naive in the past, but now they feel relevant to what you ultimately truly want to achieve. It feels like in the service of those you care about, in the service of your community, your family, even the world at large. And in the future, the Wheel of Fortune and the 7 of Pentacles is clarified by the Emperor and the 6 of Wands. The Emperor is having a big show here, and I'm not quite sure why. What I'm now picking up is the dominance of Aries in the past month. Saturn, Neptune in Aries. A number of planets have already passed through Aries, but this idea of beginning to rebuild anew. And I'm taking Saturn in Aries quite literally. And in order to renew, this calls upon the wisdom, the experience that you already have accumulated, and leaning on that experience with a very different lens. This is really about payback for some of you. There's some kind of giving back, perhaps a corrective to something that was done in the past that didn't turn out the way you would have liked. But there are ways in which you are remedying that as a member of a community, as a cohort, as a co-creator. You're doing your part. You're taking up your share of responsibilities to a collective, even as you may have advanced wisdom and knowledge beyond others of your peers. But the way in which you're able to execute your responsibilities is leading you to a lot of victory, success in your activities, and you're gaining a lot of notice. You're actually on the verge of showing off. But I don't think you are, because I think you're recognizing that this experience that you're working towards is opening up new possibilities that you formerly could not have entertained. And those opportunities cohere around the way you're working with others as peer, as co-creators, no longer subject to an authority outside of yourselves. And this is really different for you, to allow yourself to interact with the wisdom, the ideas, the intelligence of others. This is really drawing you into a place of being noticed for what it is that you're achieving in partnership. And this feels like a huge victory and freedom for you. The flower, the oracle, is the Stephanatus, and the key word is cooperation. Take the hand offered or ask. This is really quite lovely. I really do see something very powerful emerging for you, Gemini. Something that is altering your goals and helping you to understand really the ultimate value of the service that you've always been providing. You're feeling benefit from that now. Finally, after some time of supporting others, you are personally feeling the ability to benefit from the service you provide. So thank you, Gemini, for this reading. Until next time, namaste.